Oh, I am recording. Oh, okay. That's not entirely embarrassing, oh, is it? So this is my TBC, and I was supposed to do like many beans, but because of things at group, I can't actually cook. So I thought if I videoed me with the lovely Rachel's assistant,
hello,
I could show you all how I do many beans, and that would be cool. So if I was like doing many beans properly, I would look at the beans. I would use all of these beans, so there's like butter beans and black eye beans and like your kidney beans. Back to me. Hello. I would soak them all overnight, and then I'd cook them really slowly and stuff. But they can be quite intimidating. It works out really, really cheap, but they can be really intimidating if you don't really know what you're doing. So we're not going to do those. So we'll get rid of all of them. No, don't. So what we're going to do is kind of your basic mini beanie recipe, which is a bit like a Rogan Josh, but instead of putting lamb in it, we're going to put beans. So we've got your kidney beans, and your butter beans, and your chickpeas, and your tomatoes, and your coconut, your onions. If you want it to go further, you can put in like more carrots, more sweet corn, tin potatoes because they're always a win, a little bit of oil for cooking. Yeah, it's oil.
vegetable oil.
Bay leaves from Anne and Peter's garden because, you know, fresh is best. And then you need all like your spices and stuff. So I'll do you a list and stuff. A list. So kind of you need all your spices. So that's a stick of cinnamon, some chillies, some tomato paste out of the tube. If you ain't got tomato paste out of a tube, you can cheat with ketchup. Peppercorns, just normal black peppercorns. Garlic, this is pickled garlic because I find it a bit milder. But you can, like any garlic is garlic. Or garlic powder, that's always good. And then you've got your turmeric powder, whole cumin seeds, ginger powder, or if you want to use fresh ginger, this is frozen fresh ginger. At Morrison's, near where we do the community shop, that's in there at 90p, so that's a good little saving. Your whole corianders, garam masala. If your garam masala gets old, you need to throw it away because it goes minging really quickly. So if it gets too much air, it goes minging. So throw it away when it goes minging. Paprika, because everything's made better with paprika. And whole cardamoms. And again, these need to be the green ones, because if they go like all brown and minging, then they're just awful. So just put the green ones in. So that's my ingredients. Now I went on Cook with Jamie Oliver's recipe, and this is the thing. So I'm going to kind of follow this recipe. So in your pestle and mortar, this is a big heavy sort of cast iron one, so that's quite handy. It says to put 3 inches of ginger, so that's over there. 8 cloves of garlic, so I'll need to put that in the pan. Turmeric, it wants a teaspoon, which is empty. Should have done that beforehand, shouldn't I, really? Oh, that smells good. So it wants a teaspoon, so there's a thing about you're supposed to put like all your brown ingredients like together and all your red ingredients together, so they don't, there's something, I don't know what it is, but I put like some bits in there and some bits elsewhere. And then, so a teaspoon of peppercorns, teaspoon peppercorns. I often don't put those in, but I thought I might do this time because it's nice. 4 chillies. So I reckon 4 chillies worth of chilli is at least a tablespoon. In that one. So that's the chillies. I'll go back up there. A bit of cinnamon. So, because this is only a little one, I think that much will do. Paprika, that's this one. Look at that, that's lush red. So that's a red one, so we'll have one of those bad boys in there. And then cumin, that's quite a peppery one, so I'll have one of those bad boys in there because that's a bit brown. I don't know if this is like the proper way you do it, but this is the way I do it, so that counts. Coriander, this is the seedy stuff. The ground coriander is just as good, but I have this, so I'm going to use it. Oh no. Ginger, we're going to put a full thingy in, so we can get rid of that one. Garlic, I'm going to put some of this garlic in, but also put some garlic powder. And this smells like every takeaway you've ever been to. These flavour pots are quite lazy if you want to sort of do this and then put some bits in, but they're a bit shite. But it's better than, you know, forking out loads of money on stuff, so we're not going to put those in. But they're dead handy to have in. Garam masala we'll put in as if we need it, so that one just needs to stay out. And then cardamom. I reckon 5 should do it, but if you look at my cardamom seeds, this one's lovely and green, whereas this is a bit shitty brown, and that one's lovely and green, and that one's lovely, and these are a bit shitty and brown, and that one's quite nice, and that one's quite nice. So I reckon if I put in 3 good ones and 2 shit brown ones, that'll use up some of my shit brown. That one's really horrid, that one can go in just because it's horrible. So those can go in. These are all sort of getting a bit past the best, so I might be chucking these out. Or making tea. Cardamom tea is quite nice if you're feeling not so well. So all of these go in here. So I'll take my stick out, because that doesn't want to get my, and bay leaves. So I reckon I'll chuck 2 bay leaves in. So we'll have 2 of you ready to go. And that's done. So then all these need mashing up. Oh no. If you find that stuff ain't mashing so well, you can put salt in it and it kind of makes it mash better. Or just chop it a little, I guess. Oh no. And split them all up. You're supposed to like take the outer bits out, but as I'm sure you're all well aware, I can never be bothered doing that. So, and it might have a bit of flavour, so it might as well stay in. So, I'm going to do this for a minute. You can just sit and watch me while I do this for a minute. Do you like my apron? It's lovely, isn't it? Have you been the musical accompaniment, dear?
The musical accompaniment.
Now they're sort of mashed up a bit now. You could mash them a bit longer if you wanted, but I don't want to. So, oh no, that one needs mashing. The next thing to do is put a pan on the heat and get it properly hot. Not moderately hot, properly hot. So, will you pause and we'll go over there. Are we recording again?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So I've got my pan on. See my pan? Yay. It needs to be hot. If it's not hot, it's not going to cook. Yeah, because that makes sense. So onion in, and it should start to sizzle straight away. Should sizzle a bit louder than that actually. So you want to get your onions all nice and caramelised. But while it's doing that, you might as well, all your bits you crushed up, these all need toasting as well, so they can go in, because we might as well get everything going. So that's done. Have you quite done now? And then we'll put the ginger in as well, because we might as well get that doing.
That's cheese.
That's not cheese, that's ginger.
Okay.
So look in here. So all your spicy bits need toasting off, but they need to keep being moved around. Don't be afraid of putting enough oil in your pan, because if you burn them, they're going to taste shite. Whereas if you keep... Oh, that's a bit hot. If you shifty them around and keep them shifty so they don't all stick, then that's quite nice. But yeah, the oil, when it's cooking, will kind of separate out, so it's not going to be really greasy and fatty. And it's veg oil anyway, so it's not like it's lard I'm going to do. So keep those tossing around, give them a couple of minutes. If you notice, like your spicy bits start to catch on your pan, if you take your pan off the heat, your pan will get cold and the rest of it will stop cooking. So if you have a little bit of water ready, like the kettle boiled, if they do catch, you can just sling a little bit of water to lift it back up off the pan, and that's quite kind of what you do. So, wash down. Oh yeah, you needed to slice your onions as well. I didn't say slice your onions. So if you want sort of a light coloured curry, then just do your onions a little bit. But if you want sort of a deeper curry, do your onions more and make them sort of really dark and brown. Normally, if I was like doing this for myself, now's the point when I start frantically opening all the tins or getting all the beans out and stuff ready, because I'm like doing it, I've got them all prepared and everything, so I'm like stood here. Are you being the hostess?
I am.
Awesome. Actually, I might just let a little bit catch, so you know what I mean. So I'm not going to move that bit there. I'll keep these bits moving. But that bit can catch, and I'll show you what I mean about lifting the flavour off. There's a posh name for it, like when all your flavours are on your pan and you use wine or something to like lift the flavour off the pan. It's got like a posh name. I don't know what it is. So these bits have sort of caught a bit, they're a bit burnt on the pan. So if you chuck your water in, it quickly comes to a boil and lifts it up. And it smells so good. But anyway, you shouldn't do that because I've cooled my pan down now, and my pan needs to be hot to keep everything going. But those quite nice. They're sort of sweating a bit. Again, like if they went quite dark, that'd be like a duppiaza, because duppiaza means like onions cooked twice. So that's quite dark. So it's smelling quite aromatic now. Aromatic and quite lovely. So now that I've got these sort of flavours cooked, the next thing to chuck in are these flavours. So this is all like the red flavours, so they can all go in. And they like to catch on the pan. So a little bit more water in. So you know that North flavour pot we saw earlier?
Yes.
This is what you're buying. Look in there. See how it's all sort of like a paste with some onions? That North flavour pot is kind of this, only not. So, oh no, I'm catching again. Let me get some more water. So these flavours are now sort of cooking in, and they're quite red and quite nice. It needs to be a little bit darker. I might put a bit more paprika or something in later on. So if this was like a meat dish, you'd now put your meat in and seal your meat in all of these flavours. But as this is a veggie dish, it's in with the beans. So just chuck all your beans in. And then it's about sort of, oh my pan's a bit cold, it's about getting all of them flavours that were all round the pan, all round your beans. So if this was a meat, you'd kind of be wanting to make the pan a lot hotter than it is. You'd want to be sealing off your meat and getting all that like sealed. I don't know what that does. Holds in the flavour, I guess. So you sort of get all of that all covered in and amongst and around. That looks quite pretty, doesn't it? Might put some peas in later on to make it a bit greener. So I need my bay leaves in, which of course I washed. I've put garlic powder in, but I might as well put some garlic in. 5 of them will do. That's fine. Does that smell good?
It's beautiful.
Shift.
Oh no.
Where did my thing go? Oh, there's my scoop. Are you still? So, my garam masala, as all this flavour sorts of gets catched in my beans, I'll put 1.5 tablespoons. You can never go wrong with garam masala, it just tastes nice. So that can get all mixed in as well. And stirred in. Really? Look in the pan. So all of those flavours are now caught on all these bits of beans. So that's kind of going, and it's heated up again. So then in with your tomatoes, because that's going to make your sauce. And then get sort of turned in and turned through.
It's looking lovely.
And then for a bit more of a tomatoey kick, get in with your tomato paste. It's a tablespoon, which is a squeeze. Really. So if you give it, you can never really go wrong with tomato paste because it's just nice. Nice. So you sort of get all that turned in. So you want to get your pan hot again. So if I was doing it with my soaked many beans, I would now sort of put a lid on it and let it cook for maybe 3, 4, 6, however long. If I was doing it on the hob, I'd do it like 3 hours on the hob. If I was doing it in a slow cooker, I would then put this sort of recipe, this stuff, into a slow cooker and leave it for sort of 6 or 7 hours and go do something else. So that's quite pleasant. Now it's okay to be served. It can just sort of cook a little bit. Maybe in like 5 or 10 minutes from now, the beans would all be nice and soft and taken on the flavour. So you could serve it and you could spend the next 5 minutes making like bread and stuff. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to put some coconut in, cream coconut, just to kind of mellow it out a little bit because that might blow your head off.
Why will it blow your head off? How many chilies did you put in?
Just a couple of tablespoons.
Okay.
But it's now quite spicy and it just needs to chill out a bit. It's a bit...
Because it gets spicier the more you cook it, is that right?
Yeah, the flavours sort of develop.
Okay.
And that's sort of, I can smell it catching a bit. So creamed coconut comes in a block. You can put tinned, like the tinned coconut milk. That's a lot easier, you just sling it in. Whereas this, you sort of have to break it up a little bit. I'm sure there's like a method of doing it, like soaking it or something, but I just chuck it in because that seems to work. It's a bit big. Ah. And hot. Does it smell right?
Yes. Lovely.
So I've put it down to sort of half 8. It's on 5 now. The whole time I've been doing it, it's been on a 9, which is my hob. So, and now I'll just sort of leave this to cook, and it'll be really kind of ready and nice in maybe like 10 minutes or so, because it's got the tinned beans in, they cook quicker. Culturally, you never taste your cooking. I don't know, it's an Asian thing, but you don't taste it, so you just kind of have to know where the flavours are. I think that's a load of nonsense, because I can taste it and not give everybody else food poisoning. So, clean spoon, little dip into your sauce because your beans won't be cooked and we don't want to give you bellyache. And that's nice. It's going to knock your head off. So throw the spoon away because we don't want to dip twice because that's minging. So we're going to put some more coconut milk in.
That'll help get rid of the spiciness. Is that right?
It just sort of, you can put yoghurt through it. The Tesco's do that 45p yoghurt, the stuff. Of course I just didn't let my finger.
No.
And that's quite handy to have in, but you need to have it in fresh. Whereas this stuff, it lives on the ambient counter, so it keeps forever. Not that it lasts forever in this house, but it keeps forever.
Would the tinned coconut do exactly the same as that coconut you're using? Would it have the same effect?
Yes, it does exactly the same, but the tinned coconut is about £1, and this is like 90p or something, and you can get 2 out of this, 2 curries worth, whereas tinned coconut, like, you only get 1 curry worth.
Bargain.
So that's sort of heading towards the right sort of colour and the right sort of consistency. Yes. That's sort of there. So we'll have a quick taste. Clean spoon, dip in my sauce. That's good. That's really good.
Well done.
Oh, it has after kick.
Do the people at group like after kicks? Are they partial to a bit of curry and spices and flavourness?
No.
Oh.
Well, they probably are. That I've been putting more spices.
Have you been
in.
training them like you trained me?
No.
Which means yes.
But that's kind of there now. It's often a bit darker, as I say, because I've cooked the onions for too long. Oh, this point now, it's cooked. So if you know those tin like frozen spinach that comes in the bricks, I'd chuck that in right now, because that will just give it a little bit more iron. So that'll be good for those of us that are anemic, Agnes. Also frozen peas in right now, dead handy just to bulk it out a little bit more. But that's kind of there. So we'll just take that off the heat so it doesn't catch. And that's how you do many beans. Thank you. And that's kind of it, really.
Well done.
How much battery have I got left?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay. Shall we stop there then?
Okay. Bye bye.